friends, welcome back to Texas Family Life. My name is Kristy. I am a mama of 7 and they are ages 7 and under. So today I wanted to do a little question and answer for y'all. If you missed the opportunity to ask a question, if you have any questions for me, just leave them in the comments below and I'd love to do another video like this. And if you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. I wanted to welcome all you new viewers here. I'm so glad to have you along, and to all my And to all the viewers I've had for a while, thank you for sticking around. It's so good to have you here. Y'all liking and subscribing is what makes these videos possible, so I'm so glad you're here. So I'm going to jump right in. I have 10 questions that I was asked and that I would like to answer. Kid swap. So question number 1 is, did you or your husband come from a large family? Now, it kind of depends on what you consider a large family. For me, I had 3 older sisters, and when I was in elementary, I just vividly remember thinking, like, this is a very big family. A family of 6 is a lot of people. So I grew up in a rather large family compared to everyone surrounding me. Now, my husband grew up with 2 siblings, and so that was not as big. Neither of us had brothers, which is really funny because now we have boys, and we're not necessarily sure of the dynamic between boys. But I had 3 older sisters, and I always felt like I wanted more siblings. I was the youngest, and it just felt like someone was missing almost. And so, I don't know, it just felt a little bit lonely sometimes, even with the 3 other siblings. Now, they were all, we were all about 3 years apart. So my next oldest sister, closest to me, was 3 years older than me. So we were always kind of at different stages of life, which it's different with my kids because a lot of them can be in similar stages. Like, the younger ones can all play with the same toys and they enjoy it still instead of them thinking it's babyish, you know. So we did not come from rather large families. But like I said, in the area that I grew up in, I didn't know anybody else with as many siblings as I had. My next question is how my husband and I met, which is kind of a cute story. I was 21 when we met. We met on New Year's Day. Well, I guess technically the day after New Year's Day. But my friend and I were looking for a good country dance place. And so we were driving around different places. We'd go in and there'd be like no one there because it was, you know, the day of New Year's, not New Year's Eve. And there just weren't many people out. And we wanted to go dance, do some country dancing, which was a lot of fun for me at that age. And I don't think I would go back, but it was a lot of fun. So we went to one place and there was nobody there. We went to another place, there was nobody there. So we went back to the first place and it was kind of boring. So we were on our way out and my husband was standing with a group of his buddies. And they asked, you know, if we would stand with them so they didn't look so awkward, like just a bunch of guys standing together. And we were like, yeah, okay. So we stayed for a little bit. And so that's when my husband and I met and we started talking, and it was funny because I saw him from across the room and something in me said, like, I don't know what. I saw him across the room and I turned to my friend and I was like, you see that guy over there? Would you ever marry him? And she's like, no, would you? And I'm like, no. So lo and behold, something in me was telling me, like, that's your future spouse, the Holy Spirit or something. And I just kind of like brushed it off, but it's really funny. And I remember my friend telling me, like, about a month after meeting him, like, oh, I know you're gonna marry him. And I just thought that was so silly. Like, nobody knows that. So it's just funny that I did end up marrying him. But we met, and I remember telling him, like, do you believe in God? And how many kids do you want? And he said, I'd like 7 kids. And I said, that's a good start. And look, here we are now, 9 years later with 7 kiddos. And it's just such a huge blessing. So that's how we met, was at a dance hall. And it's funny because my husband didn't even like country. He didn't like country music, country wear, country dancing, but I was really into it. So it was a lot of fun. The next question is, have I always lived in Texas? My husband has. I have not. I lived in Minnesota. I was born, so I grew up in Minnesota. I was there till I was about 7. We moved here when I was in 2nd grade. And so I was there for the parts of snow that I enjoyed, so I miss it. I wasn't an adult. I wasn't the age of having to scrape snow off my car or get my children dressed in the snow or anything like that. I was just there for the fun. So I remember sledding and ice skating and just so many wonderful things. And I feel like the summers there were just beautiful. It gets so hot here in Texas, and I know it got hot there too, but I have really good memories of Minnesota, so I like that. But like I said, I moved here when I was 7, so I'm really a Texan. I've been here so much longer than I was ever there. But it's a fond memory, and it's amazing how many people who also have lived in Minnesota know exactly where I lived. Like the town I lived in, because here in Texas, you say what town you live in, and it's like, I don't know. Because there are so many cities here in Texas, so many towns. The next question is, if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live? And that's a really, really hard question. I would love to live somewhere with mountains. I think the mountains are beautiful, and like if I could pick ocean or mountains, I'd rather live closer to the mountains. I love exploring and like going hiking, going on trails, and we don't get to do that a whole lot here. But we're about a few hours from the ocean, so that's fun because we can go to the ocean. But I think if I could pick, I'd love the mountains. I do foresee us staying in Texas probably forever, unless we just are called to move somewhere else. We did look at the Dakotas, and we've looked at Ohio. But really, we are so in love with our church and our church community. It's like nothing we've experienced. So unless that changes, I think we're going to be sticking around here for a while. I love Alaska. I love the idea of Alaska. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But we'll probably never go there either. The UK looks beautiful in pictures. I just love like the green. And I imagine that it's kind of like the grass is greener on the other side kind of thing. Like it looks beautiful, and it looks like it'd be a lot of fun. But like I said, I think we're going to stay in Texas, and hopefully one day we can do a little bit more traveling. But right now it's very difficult to travel with so many little ones. It's just easier to stick around here. But one day I'd like to go travel around. Another question is, what are the names of our children? We have Isadora, Mabel, Edith, Owen, Maristella, and Benedict and Kenneth. So that's the names of our children. Most of them have, most of their names are associated with a saint name. When we were pregnant with our first, we named her after Saint Isadora, who is the patron saint of farmers. I have a degree in plant and soil science, so I kind of had a thing for like gardens and plants and, you know, homesteading. And we still have this desire in our hearts to have a homestead. And so it was a special connection. And we do, when my husband and I were engaged, oh, God bless you. My husband and I were engaged. We came up with a long list of names for boys and girls. And so we still hold on to that list. But a lot of the names, we look back and we're like, oh, what were we thinking? We are so glad that we didn't get to have that child and name it that. The next question is, what does my husband do for work? My husband works in the oil industry. He has for as long as I've known him. He's tried to get out and go do other things, but oil is kind of just what he knows and what he's really good at. And right now, we're kind of praying for him to get a different job, to be honest. He got in a car accident back on Halloween, which was not his fault, and so he has a back injury now, and he can't really do his job as efficiently as he would like, because he's in so much pain, and he has to drive quite a bit to get to work. We don't live near his job at all, so right now he works in oil, and we'll see if that changes. If y'all could please pray for him to find a better job, that would just be so wonderful. But right now, yeah, he's having a little bit of a hard time just because he can't really do his job well. He has to be able to lift a whole lot. He has to like he has to climb a bunch of stairs to climb to the top of these tanks to do inspections on the oil. And then he takes samples, and so he has to have this backpack full of stuff. I don't know. He made me put it on once. And it was really heavy. Like I couldn't even take a few steps because it was so heavy. So he's not able to do that right now. So he's on light duty, but just prayers that he can get a better job would be wonderful. It's not easy. He has other dreams and desires of like what he would like to do for work. But it would just take time getting those things started. So we haven't necessarily pursued that quite yet, but you never know what the future holds. What piece of advice would I give a new mom? That is hard because I have so much advice I would give, and it's hard to pick just one thing. But I think the biggest thing is that it gets easier being a new mom is really hard because it's brand new territory. Yeah, so I would say it gets easier and to kind of relax a little bit. I was a very uptight first time mom. I didn't really like people holding my baby, but also I think that goes with, I didn't have postpartum depression, but that can be a symptom of like a little bit of anxiety after your baby's born, is like letting people hold your baby. So I was very particular about who could hold my baby. I didn't want people walking while they held my baby. And I was very, very anxious. And I wanted to do it all right. And I wanted to do it my way. I didn't want to hear advice. So I've learned a lot that like there are so many seasoned mamas that can give you such good advice. So take their advice, take it with a grain of salt, but also listen to what they have to say and think about it. And also, like I said, it gets easier. Having another child is a great way to make it easier because you have to relax a little bit with each child. You can't be so uptight because you can't really control all of it at once, and you have to just learn to let go a little bit. People have always said like, how do you have so many kids? How do you do it? And it gets easier. Like with each kid, it gets easier because they're not all staying toddlers. They're getting older. Like my older kids like to help give the babies bottles and they like to be helpful. And so it's not like I'm raising 7 2-year-olds. It's helpful. They're all so helpful. Even my 2-year-old is very helpful. Now, if I had had twins early in the beginning of having kids, I think that would have been a lot harder. And I applaud those moms who have twins and toddlers and know their kids. Edie wants to show you the vacuum she got you. Did you ask for that for your birthday?
Yes.
Very cool. I'm sure they'll like it, huh? She asked for a vacuum for her birthday, so she got one. Did you have a birthday? How old are you now?
5.
She just had a birthday and she's 5 years old. You're a big girl now. Yeah?
Am I 5 and
No, you're not 5 and a half. You just turned 5 last week.
Yesterday I don't know.
Yesterday. So that would be my advice, is that it does get easier. Church gets easier. Going to the grocery store gets easier. Finding alone time with your spouse, again, gets easier. It just takes time. Like everything else, it takes time. And you're going to get into your own habits and rituals and swing of things, and it'll be perfect for your family. So give it time. Don't give up yet. It gets easier. Another question I got was, do I have baby girl items? And I had to look that up. And so I don't know exactly what you meant by baby girl items. Like, do I have an item that I absolutely love that is like a must for babies? Yes. Is there an item that we would love to have that we don't have because it's like so far-fetched? Yes. So our baby girl item that we would love to have but we don't have is a stroller called the Donkey. I think it's like Donkey 5. I think it's over $1,000 for that stroller, but it's for twins, and we're kind of growing out of it now, but it started out as like 2 little bassinets that you could push along, and then that converts to seats, and it's just like the most gorgeous stroller, and it would make things so much easier, I think, but we're just not in the market for it right now. And items that we have that like I couldn't live without as a mom, carriers, baby carriers. I think those are genius. I can put one on, and soon I'll be able to put both on, and then you're still able to like use your hand and get stuff done. My husband says the car seat that you can remove from the car and bring in. It's funny because we've never had one of those before, so we didn't get one until we had these twins, baby 6 and 7. We always carried our babies to the car in our arms and brought them back in our arms, and he just loves it. He says it's so much easier. I've always been a very hands-on mom. I always want my babies in my arms. I don't want to keep them in the car seat because it's easy to just like leave them there and say, oh, they're fine. And then I don't feel like they get as much connection with mama, but that's just my personal opinion. And like I said, my husband loves that car seat. So if you're a new mama, I recommend you getting a carrier for sure. And then also when they're newborns and babies like this age, somewhere to put them down safely. So either a swing or one of those seats that they can sit in, or something where you can put the baby down, and even one that can like come around with you so you can carry it into the kitchen and have it in the kitchen with you while you're in there. Or or something like that. But putting them on the couch is so tempting. And especially as a new-time mom, I'm very pleased to say I've only had one baby fall off a couch or a bed, and it was my first, and it scarred me. So that was such a freak accident. I don't know. I had her on the bed. She wasn't rolling yet. She was so little, and I walked away to go get the laundry from the dryer and came back, and she was on the floor crying and in a weird position. Like, I could not figure out how she rolled. Like, her head was at the head of the bed, but when I found her, it was at the foot of the bed and she was on the ground. It was just awful, horrific. So anyways, it's very tempting to put babies down on the couch, but it's just not safe. Especially when they start rolling, which you never really know when that is. One day they just like wake up and they can roll. So anyways, an item that you can bring around with you is really good. I was asked what my favorite sweet treat is. Cookies are typically my favorite go-to sweet treat. I really like cookies, but I have a major sweet tooth. I like anything. Pie, I really like pie. Cake is my least favorite. I really am not a big fan of cake, and I'll eat it and it's good, but it's not my favorite at all. Like, if I were to eat something like, and brownies I like, they're a little too close to cake, but if I put chocolate chips in brownies, then they're really, really good too. But yeah, I've got to say, I think cookies are my favorite sweet treat that I could just keep eating them, right? But my favorite candy, I don't know what my favorite candy is. It changes. I really like Reese's Sticks. Those are fun. But it changes. Sometimes I want something chocolate, sometimes I want something fruity, but I really like everything sweet. I like sweets so much. It could be a problem. All right, another question is, do I always wear dresses? Of course not. I wear skirts sometimes too. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mostly wear skirts and dresses. I have a pair of sweatpants for bedtime that I wear sometimes if I'm not in the mood to wear like a nightgown. I don't wear shorts. And all of this is just wanting to be beautiful and modest. And I imagine there are some women that can pull off wearing pants and still being beautiful and modest. But with me, I find it hard to find a good pair of pants that aren't too tight and showing every bit of my body, and a pair of pants that are too baggy and make me look, you know, more on the masculine side. I just think dresses are beautiful, and they make me feel beautiful, and they make me feel feminine, which I feel like is essential as a woman, to have something that makes you feel that way. And I know that there are a lot of men out there that struggle with temptation, and I do not want to be a stumbling block for them. And I know this is like super controversial, and there are so many people that say like, well, men should like mind where they put their eyes and stuff like that, but also we have to help our fellow brothers. We have to help them not to stumble. And so by wearing dresses and not wearing low-cut shirts and stuff like that, for me, I feel like I'm being helpful to those men that may otherwise stumble. And you could be wearing a sackcloth, and I'm sure if they're gonna stumble, they're gonna stumble. But it's just, I want to do my best to not be a temptation. And I did when I've not always worn skirts and dresses. I used to wear very poor clothing. I used to wear very tight pants and, you know, tank tops, and just, I don't know. I didn't necessarily have high regard for myself then, and I didn't really find my body to be anything special. So now I know, like, I'm made for my husband, and my husband alone. And I'm trying to give my children a good example. And so they do too, wear skirts and dresses, and they love it. They feel beautiful. And when they get older, you know, they can decide what they want to wear. But right now, as their mother, the one who dresses them, that's what I choose for them right now. And I want them to be modest, and I want them to, I don't know how to put it. I keep saying like love their bodies, but like love the body that God gave them enough to cover it up, because it's not for everyone to see. Right. Yeah. like I said, I know that's very controversial. I know there are many people that wear pants and they wear tight clothes and they wear short, low-cut shirts, and they want people to see them and to see their bodies, and it's just not for me anymore. And so I've just gotten to that point. I don't wear clothes like that, and I don't think I'll ever go back. Like, I can do anything in a skirt, and if there's something I need to do, like climb a mountain, I'll put some leggings under my skirt, you know. But I don't need everyone being able to see every inch of my behind, every piece of cellulite I have, every fat roll I have. I just don't need that. And I don't know. Dresses and skirts are very forgiving. And that's another huge plus, especially after all the children I've had. Another reason too is like pants. I'd have to buy a new pair of pants every like 6 months, which is not me. You know, I don't like to spend money on myself. But I go from like nursing to pregnant to not pregnant to a little bit pregnant to huge pregnant, and it's like, it's just so much easier to put a skirt on. They fit me no matter what stage I'm in. And also, I buy a lot of my dresses from Latched Mama, and those dresses are nursing friendly, so I can wear those when I'm pregnant, when I'm nursing, anytime. So I just love wearing dresses so much. All right, so that was 10 questions, and I do have one bonus question, which I thought was a lot of fun because my husband and I do talk about it a lot. The question was, would you like more sets of twins? And the answer is, I would happily take more twins. It has been so much fun. So much fun having twins. Huh? Is it fun? You like having a brother? Yeah. It has been just the time of my life. The newborn stage was really hard for me. Very hard. Just because you're worried about keeping 2 little souls alive rather than one. And it's kind of like a juggling act. And this one was skinny and he wasn't gaining weight, and then he got sick and had to go to the hospital, and it was just like thing after thing after thing. Yeah. But now he's doing great. He's only a pound apart from his brother. Yeah. But would I like more twins? I would love twins. And if I could plan it my way, my husband and I were talking about this, but like, it'd be nice to have a few singletons in between twins. But if we had twins next, I would be thrilled. And my kids have already been coming to me saying, I hope there's a baby in your tummy. I'm like, guys, give me a little bit of a break. One of them has been saying they're praying for triplets. So, I don't know. But God's going to give me what he wants to give us. And if it's his will for us to have more twins, then we would happily take more twins. Yeah, I love you. I love you so much. You handsome boy. I do think another set of twins right after the set of twins would be very challenging. But like I said, I would take it and I would be happy and I would just be thrilled, because what are the chances? Now my twins are die-die. That means I ovulated twice. I released 2 eggs for those to be fertilized. I released 2 eggs, so it wasn't 1 egg that split, it was just 2 eggs. And so that came from me, and that is something that die-die twin moms their chances of having another set of twins are like 30%. So there's a 30% chance that I'll have more twins. Ooh, oh, God bless you. So that's kind of fun. I'm out of like the scared stage of like, oh, what would we do? But because once again, like if I were to have twins and get pregnant again, then these twins would already be over a year old. All my kids are about 17 to 20 months apart, so I'm used to it. We are always in the baby stage. But and that's it for the questions. Like I said before, if y'all miss the opportunity to ask a question, if you have any questions for me at all, I am more than happy to answer them. Leave them in the comments below, and I'll do another question. I'll do another Q&A if that's something y'all are interested in. I think that would be a lot of fun. And so, once again, thank you to everyone who is subscribed. And if you're not yet subscribed and you watch my channel, please subscribe. Just go ahead and do it. You can always press the button and unsubscribe. I don't know. But I hope y'all have a blessed rest of your week, and I thank you so much for being here. Bye, guys. Oh, you spit it up again. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no.